All right, so today I want to talk about feeling behind at 29 because this is a funny thing. I keep hearing this from people who are around my age group where they're like, oh man, it's so over. Like, I feel like I'm so behind. Like, I feel like I'm missing out on my youth. I feel like I'm not like as far as I feel like I should be. But the funny thing is that if I keep hearing that, then it probably means that it's not as uncommon. It's not. I think it's very normal for people at age 29 to not know what they're doing with their life, right? So I think that's one thing, right? I also want to talk about like it's not over. I feel like whether or not like it's over or we're so back is truly like a state of mind, right? Because if you keep saying it's over, like I'm past my prime, like I can't do it, like I'm too old to go back to school. I'm too old to meet the love of my life. I'm too old to experience life. Then yeah, you're gonna start to justify that, and the reasons why you can't do those things are gonna come to fruition, right? But if you keep saying that, like, oh no, like this is the prime of our lives, like now we have a combination of experience and you still have youth, right? Like when you're 29, when you're 30, you're still relatively young, right? Like I literally not that long ago, I've had somebody be like, I told someone I was like, oh, I'm going to school. And they're like, oh, what, high school? I'm like, yeah, you gotta be kidding. Like I don't think I look that young, but I do think that like age, like to an extent, is just a frame of mind. Right? If you feel like you're too old, then you're right. If you feel like you're young enough to do something, then you're probably right too. Right? Like if you say that you can't, then you're right. If you say that you can, you're probably right too. Right? It is a very similar thing. Right? I'm not saying that like oh man, age is nothing. I do think it is a factor, right? Because me going to school now versus me going to school basically 10 years ago when I was like 19, right? Versus when I'm 29 now. And when I was 19, I was like, oh man, some of this course is like, they're like, if I don't want to do it, I just wouldn't do it, right? But now I'm like, all right, I just got to do it. You have to do what you got to do, because like, for what, like if I don't do it, then part of the reason why I actually don't even feel like I'm crazy behind, even though I am like one of the old, I'm not even like that much older. Like I was literally just talking to a dude who was like in his 40s in my same program, right? And like the first time I went to school, there was also like somebody in their 40s. Like my best friend was a 30-year-old dude at the time, right? Like Seti was cool as hell, and he was 30 years old, right? Which is kind of crazy because like, I'm the same age that he was at that time, right? And you really realize that it's not that crazy of an age jump. Like time goes by very quickly, right? But you're not so old where it's like, oh man, like I shouldn't be here, right? Like it's about like, are you gonna put in the effort to be the best that you can be, right? Because like I think that's the big thing about being like at the end of your 20s, because like your 20s really don't know what you're doing, right? Being at the end of your 20s, it's like you're not old, right? But you're just too old to not be taking shit seriously. That's the thing, right? So I think it is very normal for people to feel like, oh, they're behind. But I think that's because a huge portion, like most people put on a huge amount of effort to cover up the fact that that they have no idea what they're doing, right? Uh, like a lot of people, they don't want to show like, oh man, I'm feeling depressed right now. I don't want to post on social media, right? Or I'm like I'm broke right now. I don't want to post on social media, right? Or I've had to have my parents bail me out again. I don't want to post on social media, right? Like people put in a lot of effort to only showcase a story of them that is like the best case scenario. That's like the highlights of what they're doing, not like the reality of like, man, I really don't know how to proceed in this life, and so I need help a lot of the time, which is normal. That's normal. Like it's normal to need help and to not know exactly what to do in life, right? And and then because people are only posting the highlights, right? You start getting like the idea that like, they're doing it all on their own and they're getting all these steps right on their own, when in reality like most people most people I would say are very influenced by like their family, their parents, the people around them as they're growing up, right? And a lot of people who are like they have like a fairly solid footing and solid direction. It's because they were given like pretty solid guidance as they were growing up, right? But like where you're born and the position that you're born into, that's kind of RNG, right? Uh, but like even though people are getting help and stuff like that, right? Because like people who you see like they're traveling and stuff like that, or they have like a business that is like really popping, right? Their business is like really doing well, or it's like they graduated from school in 4 years and they're like everything is like on like supposed schedule, right? But typically, those people have like their parents helping them out a good deal, right? It does still happen where somebody doesn't have like their parents helping them out. But I literally just saw a report where it's like a record high number of people are living with their parents, right? Like 1/3 of adults age like 18 to like 35 are still living with their parents, which is like a very high number because traditionally people would live out on their own, right? But like economically, right, we're facing a situation where it's like more people are living on their own, or more people are living with their parents than ever because like things are like the cost of owning a house is so expensive, right? Like, the cost of living is going up. It is genuinely hard. Like things are different than how they used to be, right? And the changeover hasn't really been communicated as effectively as it could be, right? Not to mention, we literally had like COVID really was like a once in a lifetime kind of situation, right? Like in the past, they've had other stuff like SARS and stuff like that, but COVID really was like a unique situation where it's like, man, this is like really impacting a lot of people in the middle of like their adulthood, in the middle of their expression of life, right? And then you have like AI and stuff like that coming in where it's like the job market is like changing so drastically where there's like remote jobs, where there's AI in the job market, where the cost of living is crazy high, where apartments that used to be like $500 are now like $2,000 for the exact same apartment, right? Like it is expensive out there, it is hard out there. And like the way that our perception of education has changed, right? Where it's like okay, for example, like when I was coming out of school, right? When I was coming out of high school and stuff like that, the trades they were kind of looked down on as like, oh, if you couldn't do well in school, like do a trade, like just find a trade. Like if you're not that smart, just do a trade. Meanwhile, now it's like no, if you're a smart person, right? Trade some of the best like. Those jobs aren't going to be replaced by AI anytime soon. They'll be influenced by AI, but they're not going to be like replaced by AI. You're not going to have like an AI machine do your drywall for you or do your plumbing. You may have like an AI like smart meter in your plumbing involved, right? But you're still gonna have a natural plumber like install that kind of stuff, right? So the job market has changed very drastically, right? We didn't have smartphones. I think the first iPhone was 2008, right? And it's like, yeah, it's 16 years ago. But think about how much things have changed since the first iPhone, right? That's like technology builds off itself very quickly. So things have changed very, very drastically, right? It is what it is, though. My point is just that like there are real barriers that have impacted the ability for young adults to build their own foundation, step out into the world, and you shouldn't feel bad about like, man, I should feel ahead, like I want to be more stable than I should be. But in reality, it's like a lot of people aren't even at that point either, right? They're just looks like social media just shows you stuff that makes you feel insecure. That's what it does. Like the insecurity is it's what drives like continued action because it's like it's based on the premise that like, oh, if you keep watching, then you'll learn how to like be more secure. Like this is like this is the key. When in reality, like the like Instagram, Facebook, these are owned by Mark Zuckerberg, right? Twitter is owned by Elon Musk. Like these are social media platforms that are built by people who really don't care about your well-being. They just care about your attention so that it makes you money, right? So they want you to feel like, oh, I need to have this hole filled with like social media and what it promises. When in reality, right, it's like, no, we're all at a very similar playing field. Like really shouldn't feel like anybody is like significantly above or below you, right? Because really, we're all pretty close to being on the same playing field in the grand scheme of things, right? So if you feel behind, then like use that as fuel, right? Because like here's my thought process. Because like I think it's a very common trait of like successful people to feel insecure in the sense that they're not doing enough, because then it pushes them to like work even harder, right? I think that's what you got to do. If you feel like you're behind and like if you feel like you're behind in life, then use that as fuel to work even harder than everybody else. Because the reality is that most people really aren't doing anything about it, right? Most people just kind of succumb to the idea that like, oh man, I'm behind. I guess that's my life. When it's like, no, the more people who feel like that, the less your actual competition is, right? Because it like, let's say, if most people at 29 are feeling like, who are feeling behind, right? Or if they're not feeling behind, let's say that they're very successful and they're doing well for themselves, right? Then they might not be working as hard as somebody who's like, oh man, no, I feel behind. I feel like I can catch up to those guys. And there's people who are like, I'm accepting that like, I'm just gonna be where I'm at for the rest of my life. And then there's people who are like, I'm actually doing pretty well for myself. I don't need to work that much harder. I'm doing pretty good. Like I'm close to retiring, actually. Then there's you, where it's like, I feel behind, but I'm not gonna give up like a good amount of other people are, right? I'm gonna keep working, and as I keep working, eventually you're gonna start to surpass people who were like a little bit ahead of you, right? And then as you keep working, you're gonna keep like day by day, you keep making progress. The person who is like, oh yeah, no, I'm doing pretty well for myself, so I'm gonna like coast for a bit, right? You're gonna surpass them, right? Because it really isn't that hard. So many people nowadays, like, trust me, so many people nowadays really don't. They're not trying that hard to be successful. I feel like if you're feeling behind, I feel like the key in life is to find something to get good at and put all of your effort into being as good at that thing as possible, right? Like find a skill. Just find a skill that like one that, because like realistically, if you get skilled at anything, you can make money doing that thing, right? But I would recommend finding something that like actually like has like a feasible path towards making money, even if you don't find it enjoyable. If it makes you money, then do that, right? And use that as a foundation for the things that you actually do enjoy, right? And if you learn to find enjoyment in life, once you have like a skill that makes you money as a foundation that enables you to like do things that you enjoy, right? If you're enjoying life, then you're winning. Like, yeah, I'm a competitive person, but like life isn't all about competition. Like life is about enjoying things, right? Like the competition is about like, oh, I want to be like the best version of myself, right? But like I'm not willing to like beat down other people, right? Like, it's not about that. It's about like internal competition, right? Because like if you're competing with other people, right, you're always gonna find somebody who's ahead of you in something, right? But all that should really mean is that it's possible for you to get better, right? So yeah, just find something to get good at and try your best at, right? It's worth the improvement. And through that foundation of self-improvement, right, you'll find enjoyment in life and you won't even worry about what other people are doing. You'll just have like that self-confidence in yourself, you know? So yeah, it is normal to feel behind at 29, at 30, at 31. It's normal to feel behind at points in life, right? But like, honestly, if somebody else is doing something, that just means that you can do it too, as long as you take the steps, all right? It's not impossible. Just don't give up. It's not impossible. It's really not impossible. Nothing's impossible. If you say that you can't, then you're right. If you say that you can, you're probably right too, right? So anyways, those are my thoughts. Hit like if you like the vibe. I'm wearing pink. I got pink pillows in the back, you know? Life's good. Anyways, thanks so much for watching. Have a great day. Bye.